How to start a non-profit in California. 501c3 organization. 501c3 non-profit organizations are recognized tax-exempt legal bodies in the USA. The IRS approves this status for some organizations, mainly those that have a purpose beyond personal profits. A non-profit organization is created to use collected profits and funds for a social or religious cause. Non-profit organizations use this status to collect donations. In this video, I'll explain how you can start a non-profit in California. Before we take a look at the steps, remember to like this video and subscribe if you found it helpful at the end. 2 ways of starting a non-profit in California. So how do you start? You can do this in 2 ways. Do it yourself, hire a professional. Let me explain both options to you. Do it yourself. Before we start, remember to pay attention to every step because there are a lot of legal matters where you can get lost. If you are confident that this is something you can do on your own, watch this video till the end and you will know everything you need before you start the process. To briefly list out the steps, they are: choose and secure a name, appoint a registered agent, select directors and officers, file the Articles of Incorporation, operating procedure and housekeeping, applying for 501c3 status. Step 1. Choose and secure a name. Choosing a good name is essential as it can be used to present the mission behind your non-profit organization. The name is your organization's introduction to the world. It would be best to choose a unique name to represent your non-profit. It necessarily has to be unique per California name requirements. You cannot choose a name that is similar to another. However, the name has to be genuine and not misleading to the public. Your nonprofit can be named after the California Secretary of State approves the name. Before you present the name, it is best to search the database on the Secretary of State's website to check if there are any other organizations with the same name. You should be mindful whether the name has been trademarked before for any other business entity. It can cause trouble if you choose a name resembles an already trademarked name. Search social media profiles or other online presence. Be sure to verify if your desired domain name is available for your nonprofit. Even if a website isn't in your immediate plans, it will become a necessity for your nonprofit down the road. Step 2. Choose a California nonprofit structure. You can choose from 4 different structures while deciding what kind of nonprofit you are creating. Most of the time, the nonprofit's purpose will also determine the structure. The 4 structures are: mutual benefit. Mutual benefit nonprofits are for the benefit of the members. The name of such nonprofits should not mislead people. These nonprofits are not eligible for federal tax exemption and are not considered charitable organizations. They should not imply to the general public that it is a charitable organization. An example of such nonprofit is Medical Mutual Benefit Corp, which acts like the Doctors Association and works for their benefit. Public benefits. As the name suggests, this type of nonprofit is for the public. Whatever the funds are, they are used for the public's good. This is also why they are eligible for tax exemption and considered charitable organization. For example, nonprofits created for public health care or social services. Religious benefit. Any nonprofit that funds religious purpose is considered a religious benefit. The religious benefit can be for religious activities and missions. It can raise funds for shelters and to operate hospitals and schools. Common interest development. These nonprofits must follow the Davis-Sterling Common Interest Development Act guidelines. An example of this would be the neighborhood improvement organizations. According to the type of structure you choose, the Articles of Incorporation will have different requirements. So, ensure you decide on a structure before moving on to the next steps. Step 3. Appoint a registered agent. As a point of contact between the state and your nonprofit, a registered agent must be appointed. They are responsible for all the communication between you as the owner and the government, including all legal proceedings of your nonprofit. You can nominate yourself or someone from your nonprofit as the appointed registered agent. But before you make that decision, you have to understand the responsibilities of a registered agent. Be present at the provided address during all business hours and working days. Provide your address, which will be on public records once you are the registered agent, to receive all the documents and correspondence from the state on behalf of the nonprofit, keeping track of all the reports and forms filed. Another option is to hire a professional to be a registered agent. Hiring a service for this brings a lot of convenience for you. They receive documents and take care of all legal matters for you for a small fee, plus you won't have to compromise your name and address. You can choose to get a registered agent from Northwest as they are authorized to do business in California. They provide the best services for a low monthly fee. Check out the link in the description to learn more. Step 4. Select directors and officers. Selecting directors and officers is essential to organizing your nonprofit. The directors are members who supervise the officers of the nonprofit. In order to apply for 501c3 status, there should be 3 directors. You should choose the directors based on their beliefs and principles regarding the nonprofit's purpose. The directors must know about the relevant business. They should be educated about nonprofit laws, fundraising, and the industry where nonprofits will operate. The directors do not have any power individually. When the 3 or 5 directors make up a board of directors, the board has the power to make decisions. The organizational structure depends on the board of directors. If the bylaws allow, an officer may also serve on the board of directors of the nonprofit. Step 5. File the Articles of Incorporation. This document is filled with the state and contains all the essential information about your nonprofit. It declares your nonprofit as a legal entity but not tax exempt yet. The Articles of Incorporation of California nonprofits can be filled online. Since filing the Articles of Incorporation means officially forming your organization, it should include the following: corporate name for your nonprofit, the business address of your nonprofit, the registered agent, purpose statement, additional statements, signatures of directors and members. You can use available templates to create it. For California nonprofits, the type of nonprofits has to be mentioned in the Articles of Incorporation. Step 6. Operating procedures and housekeeping. All nonprofits must have the operating procedures written down. California law requires all tax-exempt organizations to have conflict of interest policies. It provides enforcement and management of conflict policies. For California nonprofits, they have to file the SI 100 form with the state. This form has all the basic information such as name, address, phone number, and financial information about the nonprofit, like the organization's fiscal year. The form has to be filled within 90 days of filing the Articles of Incorporation. Failing to do so may incur penalties. The bylaws of your organization will determine the structure of the nonprofit. The first organizational meeting is essential, with a document to record the meeting. This document should have the meeting minutes and the member signatures. Apply for EIN, also known as Employer Identification Number, before you apply for 501c3 status. EIN is the identification number assigned by the IRS to your nonprofit. EIN is a must if you want to open business accounts and get grants for your nonprofit. Step 7. Apply for 501c3 status. 501c3 is essential for tax exemption. If you want your nonprofit's tax benefit, you must apply for 501c3 status. Once you apply for this, the IRS will examine your nonprofit closely. Your nonprofit should qualify for the tax exemption status. You must fill out a form from the IRS website. Your nonprofit will use IRS Form 1023 with a fee of $600 if your organization has gross receipts and assets worth more than $50,000 and $250,000 respectively. However, suppose your nonprofit has assets worth less than that. In that case, you can fill out the Form 1023EZ eligibility worksheet. This worksheet will determine your eligibility for the Form 1023EZ. If you are eligible, you can use IRS Form 1023EZ with the fee of $275. All these forms are available on the IRS website. For California nonprofits, it is vital to fill out and file Form FTB 3500A. When approved, your nonprofit will exempt from paying California franchise tax and income tax. The filing fee for this form is $25. After going through all that procedure, if you are still determined to form a nonprofit in California all by yourself, that's bold of you. But that's why we got you covered. Hire a professional. You can hire a professional to do everything involved with forming your nonprofit. Many service providers do all the steps for you as your registered agent. It will cost you an additional $50 to $150 to hire a service to create a nonprofit. Still, it will be free you from the complicated procedures of forming a nonprofit. If you want to hire a professional service to file 501c3 status, the additional cost may go up to $1,700 plus the filing fee for all the forms. Although it gets costly, there are several benefits of hiring a professional. Some benefits worth mentioning are they help you file all the reports and forms on time. They are available at all business hours as your registered agent. They keep your business mail separate. If you want to start a non-profit organization seamlessly, hiring a professional to deal with the legal documents for you is best. If you have experience with legal paperwork, it might be easier to start the process yourself. To recap, the steps to create a non-profit in California are: choose and secure a name, choose a California non-profit structure, appoint a registered agent, select directors and officers, file the Articles of Incorporation, operating procedures and housekeeping, apply for 501c3 status, get form FTB 3500A approved. You can check out videos on each steps in detail so you don't misunderstand any process. You must research before starting because missing a date to file any document can cost you. Leave a like if you found the info helpful and subscribe for more informative videos like this one. Until next time.